All right. Don't worry, really. I mean, at least for my own personal side, I don't really bother too much about terminology in that sense now. Initially, I put like sharing session between religious and irreligious now. A friend of mine said religious is probably a bit offensive to you. I don't know. So because some people in the West, they just prefer to call themselves by irreligious or whatnot, whatever that thing. So it's okay. Don't worry about that. I mean, what about terminology and whatnot? To me, it's not so important. Right. Is your family still Shaun? I think so. I just would like to talk to Shaun because Willie can talk a lot. You know. This is your first time, Shaun, talking in the public?
About atheism, yes.
All right. It's okay. It's always the first time for everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you is your family okay? Are you know?
This is hilarious. I mean, I told my parents before. My especially my mom was like, "Why you change to atheist?" And then he just. I mean, she just always complaining. When we talk about religion, when I meet her, right, like accidentally we talk some topic and then actually somehow we take a turn to religion and stuff like. Then she was just complaining, "Why you change to atheism?" and things like that. But she wouldn't like fight me over it or anything. She just always like a bit sad, kind of thing. That's about it.
Sorry, Shaun. Is your mom Christian or Buddhist? Or
Buddhist, still Buddhist.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. My mom and my father is quite hardcore Buddhism.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom will come out in the morning and then he will have I forgot what it's called, the BG thing around your hair, and then she will just chant and like do the thing in front of the temple. Yeah.
Okay. You got brothers and sisters?
I have one younger brother who's living with me right now.
All right. Okay. Cool. He's following you?
Sort of. He's more like the lazy atheist, like what Willie said.
Okay. I know. Most people are lazy atheists. No, yeah. Most people are lazy atheists. No problem. Yeah. You're a bad influence, man, Shaun.
Yeah, sometimes my mom also say that.
How about yourself, Willie? Are your family okay with that?
Family is okay, I think. As far as I understand, my mother is probably a Christian. My dad is, I think, a Christian also. So they're not very strong either way. So I'm a little bit luckier in that sense. I have family members who are a little bit stronger in Christianity, so they would be a little bit more concerned. But everybody, I mean, I don't have much negative feedback or anything like that.
All right. Okay. Good. Okay, we talk a little bit of myths here. Shaun, do you mind me share at least the one I can share with Dr. Wei? Probably what are the 3 things that probably you don't agree with Buddhism? You don't agree, It doesn't mean that you're wrong. I mean, they are wrong.
Most of the things, I from what I study, right, actually there's a lot of good things to take out from it. But so the main last point that I hold dear to my heart, right, before I leave completely about Buddhism is karma. Right. Everybody like to say karma is true and everything. But for me, before I convert, like not say convert, but the last thing that I hold on, right, in Buddhism is karma, the idea of karma, where I want to believe that if someone do bad thing will happen to them. Or someone do good things and good things will happen to them, right? I wanted to believe that, so it's give me a sense of security. But at the end, I know that there's no proof to show it to prove that. So yeah, that's one of the biggest thing that I don't agree with it right now. It's just me wishful thinking that it's true.
All right. Okay. So that's a crime. Okay, fine. How about yourself, Willie? Probably just give 2 points that you don't agree.
You're talking about Buddhism, is it?
Both lah. I mean, you can take one go. No, you talk very fast.
Buddhism is a little bit of a mixed bag. In terms of atheism, right? I have the perspective that Buddhism is actually a form of atheism as well, because they don't subscribe to any particular god. But of course, they still have a worldview. They still have a belief system about existence, right? So I have heard a lot of Buddhists say that they don't like to be associated with atheism. I have heard some Buddhists say that they completely accept that label because they are technically don't believe in a specific God as well. So I think there are similarities, but I don't want to put words in any, because I don't represent them, right? But I think it's the one religion which we have the least differences with specifically. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, basically some say it's just philosophy. They don't really
It's like a way of life kind of thing.
Yeah, because they don't believe in creator God and stuff like that. But at least they are in a way they're the 5 precepts that we have to do. Right? Don't lie, don't kill. But I think you also can agree to that. I don't know. Don't bring alcohol. I don't know. We go that later on the core belief.
There's one funny story I want to share about the 5 precepts. Is
Yeah,
at one
sure.
point in my life, I take 5 precepts so seriously that I, you know, when you cook rice, right? There's like the rice end thingy. I would literally pick that end thingy so that pick them out so I don't kill them.
Okay.
Get it? That's like, because one of the precepts is don't kill any life. That means including small tiny ants and things like that in your rice.
Yeah.
So if you know that it's there, then you have to like save them and things like that. Don't kill any life.
All right.
So yeah.
Are you a vegetarian before?
No. I just can't give out meat.
Oh, but you're very concerned with the small insects or bacteria, but you eat bigger animals.
As long as I don't kill, it's fine, I guess.
All right. Okay. As long as you don't kill, but some other people kill, is fine. Okay, that's probably on the Buddhism side. It's good of them. How about the Christianity? Probably, I think a lot of the Christian friends are watching. Probably what you don't agree. They said because you don't understand, really, most of you.
So about Christianity is basically it's very similar. Right? You believe in a God and everything. I because I didn't brought up in that religion, so by default I don't believe in it. And when I study about Christianity, right, I just, during the Form 1 to Form 3 Bible study, right, I just take it as a story, kind of like a storybook kind of thing, like a fairy tale. You just listen and then, oh, okay, that's about it. I didn't really think to be true from the start. I'm just not sure why.
All right.
Yeah.
I get Eddie to talk to you. How about yourself, really?
You're getting lots of points to get further content.
No, it's okay. No. We just try. We are trying to break the ice. Come on, before we go into
the Christianity. So yeah, I guess Christianity is the main religion that I was going after. I think to be honest, right, rather than specific points or whatever it is, it was more of questioning the right way to do things. Actually, personally, I think that I was quite flexible in terms of my belief system back then. I had justified, like, a lot of things didn't make sense to me. Like how can you live for, let's say you live to be 80 years old, right, on earth, and of course we're going to sin and all that, and we're going to do a lot of bad things. But at the end of 80 years, how can you justify 80 years, no matter how horrible the things that you did? How can you be sent to hell to suffer forever and all these kind of things? But I have answers for those things. So people are saying that, like sometimes atheists, they get stuck on questions and whatnot. I personally believe that, if God had created everything, and he had created humans and stuff like that, he obviously knows the best way for us to exist and live, right? And this is true later. If you're going to ask us about like Islam, it's going to be the same thing as well. A created God would have a better idea of how things should exist and all that. But my main problem with it was like, which one of these is actually the correct way to worship him? That was the...
All right. Yeah, we go into that. Yeah. Probably the third part. I think I want to quickly go into this. What Angeline is asking: if you don't believe in a God, then what are your core beliefs? I'll probably go to your core belief. Before that, if you don't mind, Shaun, do you have a problem of being an atheist in Indonesian context? Shaun?
In problem as in, there's not much problem for me right now, especially because if someone is going to atheist, right, they also should go to, like, I mean, if someone say that kepercayaan kepada Tuhan, oh, you don't have it, you should follow the whatever Rukun Negara, right? And then they also have to think about chasing Buddhism. Some of the Buddhists, right? Because some of the Buddhists don't believe in a God, right? Then there's a lot of things going on. So I think especially as a non-Malay, I'm pretty safe in Malaysia to be an atheist, sort of. Because I think I am and the Buddhist people are almost in the same boat in some sort of sense.
Yeah, that's true. So basically, really, also don't have any problem in that certain sense. I mean, normally, I think non-Muslim, normally they don't have any problem, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, I don't want, since people are asking about your core belief, how do you probably share about what do you do, probably what mesh do, probably you can just talk a little bit of what is humanism is, what is atheism, in one breath. It's okay, you guys start with Shaun first.
I will let the mesh talking to Willie. But if I say about core belief, I would just say one sentence would be, don't do things that you don't want other people to do onto you.
Sorry?
Don't do the things that you don't want other people to do onto you.
Okay.
So if you don't want to be killed, then don't kill people. You don't want your things to be steal, don't steal from people. Things like that. That's the basic. There's a lot of things, right? But that's the basic one of it.
Okay, good. About you, yourself, Willie?
Okay, so when it comes to core belief questions, then that goes to the humanism side. So today we have atheism, and we've been talking a lot about atheism. Atheism itself, there's no belief system. It's basically just whether you actually believe or you don't believe in the existence of a God. But the core belief system comes more towards from the humanism side. But I wouldn't say that you start having core belief systems just because I heard of the word humanism, I researched what it is, and then I suddenly decide that these are the things that I want to do. I have been pretty obsessed with saving the world since I was a lot younger. A lot of people may not believe it, but you can call it stupid idealism or whatever it is. But we were talking about a lot of these things. You can ask any of my childhood friends, right? It's or my university friends actually mostly. This is an obsession that I've had for a very long time. So if you have to boil it down, it's basically about making the human experience better, right? So in the broader sense, the larger humanist or secular humanist community, the things that we believe in is basically improving the human condition, right? Every human has the responsibility to improve the human condition across the world, where there is no divine guidance, leading the way or whatever it is. So that would be essentially the main, you say, goal or whatever it is that we're trying to achieve on humanism.
All right, Willie and Shaun, probably I help you a little bit on your stuff because I just copy your mesh objective, the constitution. So basically, the objective is to advocate for and defend the Malaysian public's right to have the freedom of belief, or without fear or violence or legal punishment. That's one. Second is promote and educate the Malaysian public on the values of secular humanism. That's basically what Willie is trying to say just now. Third is basically to represent atheist members and the atheistic viewpoint in the public discourse. That's basically what we are doing now. And the fourth is to organize educational outreach and community activities for the betterment of society. This is very good, the last one. Right. So is that it?
Yeah. So
just
a bit of background maybe on MASH itself. So MASH is Malaysian Atheists and Secular Humanists. When we established it, we actually were debating a little bit like what kind of terms should exist. Initially, I think very, very early on, the more formal organized thing was actually Malaysian Atheist Organization. But we wanted a little bit more of doing good or making a difference kind of organization. So, but at the same time, we kept the word atheist inside. So we pivoted towards the humanist side, but we wanted to keep the word atheist inside because in Malaysia, that is actually, we feel, important because in Malaysia, there is a tendency not to, for people to be unaware of our existence, right? Some people consider atheism as an idea and just a threat, but the people are real. They are real atheists in Malaysia. There's a large number even, right? And we just felt the word atheist should be remaining there. That's why one of the objectives that you just read actually mentions about advocating for atheists, right? But in terms of activities and whatnot, we very much want to go down and look at humanism and making society a better place, basically.
Right. I share with you the YouTube video on the atheist church they have in America, where they,
Yeah.
they call it funny things, atheist church. So okay, so you can get together and talk about your common stuff, your common belief. Okay, we go to the second part. Basically, what then Angeline is very active. Then what is the driving force in improving the human condition? Alan Fu, really understanding of Buddhism is more accurate than way Shaun explained. This is Alan Fu. I don't know whether you're a fan or not. Dr. Wee also watching, so be careful. And a lot of Christians are watching too. Muhammad Daniel is also loving the discussion. No. So how do you see the the social issues like drinking alcohol, gambling, fornication, drugs, LGBT, and certain stuff? Shaun first. I want the young people to speak up.
To me, as long as it doesn't harm others people, and if it help you, then that's okay. To me, and don't harm yourself, lah, right? In like if you're talking about, if let's say a gambling issue, right, would be as long you don't harm yourself to a point where you have to commit suicide just to repay to run away from Along or whatever, then it's okay, I guess. I mean, just don't go to that point. Don't go negative. If you are like super rich, I guess it's fine. You just want to have a bit of fun. But yeah, don't. Most of the time I don't like gambling or anything like that. I just don't like it. But if you just want to have a bit of fun, right? Like Chinese New Year, a lot of people gambling just for fun kind of thing. That's fine. Just don't go over it. That's some sort of things. I believe. Just don't harm yourself or harm others. Then it's fine to me. That's in the basic form, lah.
But don't you think, Shaun? Normally it starts small. You bet small and you get hooked up, and you double down and you lose. And the last thing you know, you are indebted to Along. Your parents disown you. You're going to the MCA. So it's because you don't really have. Of course, I've seen really argue in the objective morality or subjective morality. It's really up to you. So it's like. So probably really want to add to that. Now she's waiting to jump. Yeah, Willie, over to you.
So in terms of when you say social issues and the list that you gave just now, right, I think that's a pretty good way to differentiate the way which we determine morality from, say, religion, right? So we don't have a voice telling us what kind of sex is acceptable, for example. We don't have a list of right or wrong things, and etc. So Shaun's basic principle there, like things which are okay, are basically things that doesn't harm others. So basically the basic principle is where my right, we should have as much right as we can, but where my right ends is where your right begins, right? So in the case where if the activity that you're doing causes harm to other people, then that's where it stops. So you can apply this and you can look at any number of types of cases. So like drinking, for example, if you're drinking moderately and you're doing for entertainment and whatnot, and nobody is nobody is getting harmed by it, that's fine. But if you start drunk driving, for example, you drink excessively, it becomes a problem for your family. It becomes a problem where you're killing other people on the roads and stuff like that. It becomes a problem, right? So there are ways to determine what kind of rules that can work for us as a society when we live together. So that should be something that we can figure out through moral discussion and ethical discussion.
I've been watching I like watching YouTube and lot of stuff, even in alcohol, in drugs. Of course, even alcohol, I mean, in the UK, they have like, people say the responsible drinking is probably, I don't know how many units or 7 units and stuff like that. No, but when you go drinking, you don't even care, whether it is how many units of beer, how many units of this one. They tend to get really drunk. I've been there myself, basically their life is football and drinking. They are basically gone. I mean, the thing is, the moment that you allow them, people drunk, they don't really count that thing. I mean, do you think that not in certain sense that you're opening the doors to all this kind of evil? So there is this statement by this doctor, I mean, if they really know the harm of this alcohol, they would make it, they would ban it, they would illegal. I mean, that's quite a strong statement in that sense. Now it's like you're allowing that thing, but you know, the cost, even I think in states, about 1/trillion. This is not because of the broken families, people die, you know, this untold miseries by allowing, you know, allowing people to have. This is my argument in the sense that, you know, can you just say that is wrong?
Sure.
What do you think? Yeah.
The opposite side of that is, how do you know that? So first thing is, the first principle is, yes, they may be harming themselves, they're killing their livers faster or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the question is, how do you know that their lives are better if you prohibit them from taking alcohol completely, right? So one of the principles of humanism is that the individual needs to be able to figure out what is right or wrong for him in many situations. So for example, you can talk about authoritarian regimes where, say, the government thinks that they know what is right for all the people of the land, and then they submit an entire group of people to essentially ethnic, social re-education or whatever it is, because there's something wrong with a group of people. You know, that is an example of somebody else making a decision of what is right in terms of
yeah, really. I think you get me wrong on that thing. I think I totally agree what your point is, but it's just that from Islam, it's like it is wrong. One is, but if you do it, it is you go against God now. I mean, you pay lah. I mean, you don't pay here, you pay later lah. In that sense, you know. I mean, it's not that. Yeah, of course, if you agree, subscribe to the rules, to some certain of punishment, you'll be punished lah. If you don't, you don't. I mean, there is like clear. You cannot do that. You cannot drink. You cannot gamble. You cannot, you know, have sex with same. You get me?
Understood what you're saying. So it is basically, I'm getting to that, right? So things like gambling, smoking, drinking, and all those kind of things. The determination for where these are like, say, minor small things, right? Like, again, we're applying that principle if you don't harm other people, but we're talking about basically self-destructive kind of activities or whatnot. So again, the judgment of what consists of a self-destructive activity should be left to the actual and the individual to decide, right? So like myself, I don't drink, gamble, or I gamble a little bit because I play gacha games, so that's technically a little bit like gambling, but not real gambling. I mean, gamers will know what I'm talking about. But I don't drink and I don't smoke either, right? So but that is based on my thinking, right? Actually, drinking is something that I probably will do, but I'm actually allergic to alcohol, so I can't. But smoking is something I absolutely refuse to do, right? So, but that is my determination, right? So it's not on me to look down on somebody else who decides to smoke. If they smoke in front of children, I will have a problem with it, right? But if they know to take their smoking outside where it doesn't actually affect or harm other people, then that is up to them to decide, right? So that's the way which that's the line that I draw in terms of these things.
No, really, it's good that we have like people like you probably don't drink and stuff like that. That's not the issue. It's not like, you know, when you drink. I know plenty of my friends also smoke or probably some drink. You know, I don't look down upon them. That's a two different thing. By saying that is the wrong thing to do. You know, because when you don't have this objective morality, basically people can do whatever they want to do. That's why, to me, if you watch Protestant side, they said the root cause of humanity problem, he said, because of the self-centeredness of people, the selfishness of people. We don't have God, basically, you know, it's down to your desire. So that's why, you know, when you leave it to people, they come with all sort of fancy things. You know. That's why, you know, from man to man, they become man to woman, they become man to man, and stuff like that. Even man to animal, man to dead people, and stuff like that. Because no one can tell you what you are doing is wrong. There is no objective. It's really up to you. It's good, really, that you don't do that, but you know, but because we are living in the shared space, sometimes what you do will have impact on other people. Because no one can tell what you are doing is wrong. Yeah, Shaun, I'll give it to Shaun, and you come back there.
Okay, I think Willie put a very good example about the cigarette. So I think correct me if I'm wrong lah. I'm not sure, but do Muslim ban smoking?
Sorry?
Does Muslim ban smoking?
Muslim, Ban in the
As
sense
in
that it's
Islam.
basically Islam said haram lah. Basically, if you smoke, you get demerit points lah by God.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
people still smoke, right?
Of course, yeah, plenty of still smoke,
And
yeah.
right, so on and so forth. So how do you pull the line there? Or if some other situation come out that is maybe not in your book, in your religion, how do you draw the line? I think it's the same as like, if it doesn't harm people or it doesn't harm itself, then like Willie said, that's how we draw the line. Like as society, right, when we came together, we think about law that normally don't exist in religion book, like specific small details and stuff like that. Then when we talk about law, right, we always focus or try to focus at least in things that like the basic understanding are just if it doesn't harm people or doesn't harm ourselves, then it's good to go, right? Things like that. So let's say let's say doing drug, right? So I'm not sure if Islam or any other religion have like draw a hardcore line like drug definitely not or anything like that, right? Or smoking definitely not, right? So some religion doesn't point to that kind of things. People just think, oh, smoking is wrong, but people still smoke. But kind of like that.
Yeah, sure. I think I got your point, but I think some other religion, I think mostly their stand is more like you. It's really up to you. So from knowledge, you think that this thing is bad, so you don't do. Simple as that. I mean, what is doing harm to you or doing harm to others, you don't do that thing. Of course, Islam is the same thing, but it goes to I think a little bit further. That is basically wrong. To them, it's really up to you. There's no like a clear right and wrong of doing that. Islam is very clear. I think we'll go into that. You cannot do, but if you do it, like I said, some Muslims also smoke. But smoke is a little bit different because earlier on they said the ruling was macro, meaning to say you will not be punished, but something it's how to put in English, is something not desirable by God. Because in the old time they just think that when you smoke there's that foul smell when you get together and stuff like that. But now based on scientific research, it's proven that will harm to your body. Your body is, according to Muslim, it's not yours. So you have to take care of your body in that sense. So you cannot do that. I mean, it's very clear. But if you do it at your own perils in that sense. You got to pay for it. Okay, there are many discussion on that thing. I think you get it clear now. Otherwise, when there is no like, of course, there is also a question before this about moral policing. When you this is a little bit sensitive, and whether you bordering that and stuff like that. To me, in Islam, in certain sense, it's very clear there is no cause in the religion or whatnot.
Sorry to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Since we are on this objective morality thing, just to make it clear, yes, we don't think objective morality is necessary, basically, right? So in essence, we think that all morality should be determined subjectively. I think one of the commenters inside Facebook actually mentioned, Daniel actually mentioned, interpretation of morality can differ based on individuals' personal experience. Exactly, it can differ. So that's the reason why when we talk about morality, we should sit down as a society and talk about it together, right? That's the entire point. And with society moving forward these days, our definition of who consists of our circle and our moral compass is expanding, right? So these days we are concerned. Like last time, we wouldn't have cared about Myanmar murdering an entire population of people, right? But the genocide which they were committing against the Muslims actually there, right? But these days we do, because we get information about what is actually happening there. So I think the one I like the most is actually COVID, right? COVID is actually one of the best example of people's morality not actually shifting. There's no divine voice from above coming down to telling us that going out and licking your, I like to use this term with my students, don't go out and lick your relatives. If you love your neighbors, if you love your relatives, avoid them, right? So this is a strange thing to be saying, but there's no divine voice telling us. But if you sit down and you apply your subjective morality as a group of people, you know that the right thing, the moral thing to do right now is not to try and murder your relatives, friends, and people in your community by going out and hanging out and having fun, right? You should stay home and stay put. You should follow SOP as much as possible, but staying home is vastly more effective. And this recent spike is probably due to people not having that sense morality, of keeping away from other people and doing their part to keep things down, right? So this is a example of a very fast shift in morality, as in like what is right just shifted when COVID-19 started. So people can't adjust that quickly, but it's necessary. That's where subjective morality becomes very important. If you don't want to accidentally kill people, if you don't want to contribute to the spike in cases and whatnot, stay home. And that is actually a moral question now, but people are not thinking of it as a moral kind of thing.